Hello everybody and welcome to GG. I'm going to give you a bit of a preview to the 4 Hong Kong international races which take place on Sunday starting at 6 o'clock UK time. I'm going to start by looking at the longest of the races, also the first one to take place at 6 o'clock. It is the Vase. It's over 1.5 miles, and I think because there's only 2 races at Group 1 level over this distance in Hong Kong, this has been a really happy race for the European raiders in recent years, and they've actually won the last 4, including Highland Reel last year. He was trained by Aidan O'Brien, but I think his son Joseph could have a big say here with the Irish Derby winner La Trobe. I quite like the way he was finishing when second in the McKinnon Stakes over a couple of furlongs shorter last time out in Australia. And I think back at 1.5 miles, plus getting the 3-year-old weight allowances, he can really make a say here for the young trainers. I think he's going to go well. I mentioned the Australian form. We've also got a Prince of Arran in here who ran such a great race in the Melbourne Cup for Charlie Fellows. Hasn't been given the best of the draw though. It's going to be difficult for him from stall 14, but whatever happens here, his trainer deserves an awful lot of credit for the way he's campaigned him on the international stage throughout the year. If this race is to stay in Hong Kong, Pakistan Star is definitely the one. He won the QE2 when William Buick, who's on board again on Sunday, partnered him to success there. But the horse is a bit of a rogue. He's pretty famous for pulling himself up in his races. It really depends what sort of mood he's in on his day. He's brilliant, he can beat these, but if he reverts to his old antics that we've seen a bit more recently, then anything can happen, and he certainly isn't one to trust. The one who's been really impressing everybody in track work this week is Mirage Dancer. Now, he doesn't have perhaps the best prep into this. He was beaten in a Group 3 in Newbury last time we saw him, and that was back in September. But Sir Michael Stout knows exactly what he's doing with this sort of horse, and the fact that he's really been a talking horse in the mornings means he can perhaps run well. But for me, I'm going to take a chance on La Trobe in that Vase. We'll drop down in trip dramatically then and have a look at the 6 furlong sprint, and we see last year's winner Mr Stunning go here, and it is a race that lends itself to repeat winners. 5 horses have won this race more than once, so Mr Stunning certainly has a big chance here. However, he was beaten in the prep for this race behind Hot King Prawn. Now, this horse has really been impressing people in Hong Kong since even before he started racing, when he was just trialling. They had cameras on him and people were really getting excited. So I think he's going to be very hard to catch here. He's a bit odd looking. He's only got half a tail, but he's very, very fast, and he's my idea of the winner there. Not much to really talk about from the international angle on the sprint, but credit to David Ellsworth for taking Sir Dancelot over there. What a wonderful horse he's been over the last few months, but he's going to have to improve on what we've seen so far. On the face of it, his 5th to Sands of Mali last time out at Ascot in the champion sprint won't be quite good enough to take on and beat the Hong Kong sprinters in their own backyard. Same probably applies to Fine Needle, who goes for Godolphin Japan here. He was well beaten behind iVictory, who runs again in the chairman's sprint back in May on his only previous trip to Hong Kong. But since then, he's really looked at a much better horse in Japan, including winning the Sprinter Stakes at Nakayama last time. So I think I give him a little bit more of a chance than many do, but really it should be Hot King Prawn to sizzle home first in the sprint.